So, you live in Bensalem and you're trying to find a great dog trainer? You're in exactly the right place. We're going to go through how to find a pro who really gets your dog, your goals, and, your actual life right here in town.
Because that's the whole point, right? A well-trained dog means you can actually get out and enjoy everything Bensalem has to offer. Imagine taking those peaceful walks along the Pocoquesson Creek Trail without your arm getting yanked off, or a calm trip over to the Neshimini Mall. It's really about making those everyday outings less stressful and a lot more fun.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. First, we'll nail down your goals. Then, we'll look at the different kinds of training out there. We'll also get into what all those certifications mean and what you can expect to pay. After that, we'll cover the really essential questions you need to ask a trainer. And we'll wrap up with some fantastic local spots to practice all those new skills.
Okay, let's get started. Seriously, before you even start Googling trainers, we have to figure out what you're actually trying to accomplish. What does a well-behaved dog even look like for you? So take a second and think about your dog. What's the real issue here? Are you bringing home a brand new puppy and need to start from square one? Or maybe you have an older dog who suddenly decided that barking at every single delivery truck is his new job. Getting clear on this now makes every other decision so much easier.
Most people's goals fall into one of these three categories. You've got your puppy stuff, the basics like getting them comfortable around new things, and of course, potty training. Then there's your basic obedience, sit, stay, coming when called, the classics. And then you have the more specific behavior issues, like pulling on the leash, nonstop barking, or that tough one, separation anxiety.
Okay, so once you know what you want to work on, it's time to figure out how you're going to do it. Let's look at the different training methods and formats you're likely to come across.
You are going to see this term, positive reinforcement, everywhere. And for good reason. It's really the gold standard now. The whole idea is simple. Instead of correcting your dog for doing something wrong, you reward them for doing something right. The result isn't just a dog who listens, it's a dog that wants to listen, and it builds an incredible bond of trust between you two.
Now, you've pretty much got two main choices for the format. Group classes are awesome for socialization, and they're definitely more affordable. Plus, your dog learns to listen with other dogs around. The downside? Less one-on-one attention. On the other hand, private lessons are all about you and your dog. They're super focused, often right in your own home, but yeah, they do cost more.
All right, let's talk about the practical stuff, the money and the qualifications. How do you know if a trainer actually knows their stuff, and what's a fair price to pay for their help?
I know, this just looks like alphabet soup, but these letters matter. Certifications like CPDTK or KPA-CTP tell you a trainer has a strong foundation in general dog training. But if you're dealing with bigger challenges like serious fear or aggression, you want to look for a specialist with certifications like CDBC or CBCC-K. It's kind of like the difference between your family doctor and a heart surgeon. Both are great, but you need the right one for the job.
So let's talk numbers. This should give you a general idea of what training costs around here in Bensalem. A set of group classes will usually be your most budget-friendly option. A private lesson will cost more per hour, and then you have things like board and train programs, which are a much bigger financial commitment. This should at least give you a realistic starting point for your budget.
Okay, you know your goals, you know the options. Now comes the most important part, actually talking to some trainers. Let's go over the exact questions you need to ask to make a great choice.
Think of this as your interview checklist. When you're on the phone or meeting a potential trainer, these questions will help you cut through the noise and figure out if they're the right person for you and your dog.
You absolutely want to cover these 5 things. First, ask about their methods. You're looking for that positive reinforcement approach. Second, ask about their credentials and how they stay up to date. Third, and this is a good one, ask how they can tailor the training to life here in Bensalem. Fourth, ask how you'll both measure progress. And last but not least, get everything about the cost and any cancellation policies in writing. No surprises.
The training doesn't just happen for an hour a week with the trainer. The real work and the real progress happens out in the real world. So for our last section, let's talk about where you can practice and build on those skills right here in our own backyard.
First off, just a quick but really important local rule to keep in mind. In Bensalem, your dog must be on a leash in public spaces. The only exception is if you're in a park or an area that's specifically designated as off-leash. It's all about keeping everyone safe and being a good neighbor.
So where can you go? Well, our local spots are perfect training grounds. Neshimini State Park is fantastic for practicing that loose leash walking on the trails. But Questing Creek Trail is perfect for working around real-world distractions like bikes and other people. Once your trainer says you're ready, the off-leash area at Core Creek is the place to practice a reliable recall. And really, any of our township parks are great for working on polite greetings.
And that's really what it's all about. Finding the right trainer is the first step. But with a little guidance and some consistent work, you're going to have a confident dog who is just a pleasure to be around. Good luck with your search. You're on your way to having a dog who's not just a wonderful family member at home, but also a great neighbor on your street and a welcome friend at any gathering.